Good evening. Let us begin with this mantra. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi bhiliritam kalma shapaham sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grinanti bhurida janaha. Today we will see how Sri Ramakrishna is explaining 7 stages of devotion. We usually know the 8 steps of the Dhyana Yoga and 7 stages of Jnana Yoga. Today we will see how Sri Ramakrishna wonderfully explaining the 7 stages of Bhakti Yoga. In our last class we discussed about the yoga. Sri Ramakrishna was very clearly, he was narrating how from the Kula Kundalini slowly that power is going up on the top of the head and they are merging with that Supreme. So that power is Kula Kundalini and coming through the central part of the spinal cord. The yogis, they see that there is a Susumna chakra, that line, it goes up and mixes on the top of the head. But then he was explaining, as in the tradition, how the one after another in every steps, then the 7 stages, how the flowers were opening up and on the top of the head it is merging. Then he said the gopis too attain the knowledge of Brahman. He explained the knowledge of Brahman, that also we studied last time, we discussed about. But they were not seeking it. They wanted to enjoy God, looking on themselves as his mother or the friend or his handmaid or lover. So as we know, the Hinduism is approaching towards the supreme goal through different paths. And these are mainly 3 major paths. These 3 paths is the path of knowledge, path of devotion, and path of meditation. These 3. So he is describing here the gopis. Apparently they are so simple, but they attained the knowledge of Brahman, but they never liked it. So this is very important. The complete freedom is there for the devotee or the person who is trying to realize God. Not that all the time it is through the path of knowledge. It is according to your taste. You like to enjoy. So the gopis, and he wanted a group of people, the bowls, they were sitting over there with the Sri Ramakrishna. And as I last time told, that it is also a path of sadhana. They consider their body as the main, and slowly they go on telling through the songs that I am not the body, I am not this mind. So they go beyond the body and mind. That is their sadhana, path of knowledge, but through mixed with devotion, and they'll be going on expressing that through songs and dances. There's a special path. And here you find those people, after listening to Sri Ramakrishna, they started singing, but the song was little different type. What in the song they are singing? We are sinners, redeemers, O merciful Lord. So that was the meaning of the song, we are sinners, redeemers, O merciful God. Sri Ramakrishna he is now telling to the devotees, it is the attitude of a beginner to worship God out of fear. So look at it, how when we are afraid of God, we have so many things to do and we are afraid that somebody over there looking at us will punish us or reward us. So naturally, they are constantly considering in that way, they are calculating. Why we are going to worship God? The calculation is, I can go and please Him offering some food or prayer and all that, so that I will be protected by Him. That is the first step. If we have read, or if you read the story of a young boy who is going to Yama because his father asked him to go, the Nachiketa, his first prayer was that. When the Yama was very happy, the god of death, and he said, you have come to me and you waited for 3 nights and 3 days for me, I will give you 3 boons. Ask what you want. The first was, may my parents be in a mind of tranquility, because they may be constantly thinking about me, and may they know that I am here and they should be happy. They let them sleep properly, and when I go back, they should recognize me. So that was a very calculative way of praying. The first, when the people begin with the relation with God, the journey towards God, the journey towards the Supreme, the thing is like this only. And Sri Ramakrishna said, no, this is not a good attitude. Please sing about God realization, songs expressing divine joy. You know, when I was young, I joined this monastic order, and we used to learn the songs, but Bengali songs. I was born there in Bengal. So, and one song was very, very common. People used to like, the devotees used to like, and that was written by a great poet and singer. And after expressing that song, he committed suicide, etc. And it says, my desire is not fulfilled, O Mother, and all my dreams are shattered. It is not complete. But I can understand that the days are limited and I won't live long. So where I am going to go? It's a song of dispassion in Bengali. Most of them they will sing, Amar sadhanami sadh namitilo asha na purilo. The desire and the dreams are not complete. And they will sing with all emotion and devotion, but the meaning is not good. So when I joined the Swami, we used to call him second Swami, who was here in America, the Shantarupanandaji, many of you know him. And he said, don't sing this song. I sang this song with great emotion sitting in the shrine. He said, don't sing this song. This is not for us. You had a great life. You should join dedicate yourself to Thakur, enjoy the company of Thakur, pray to him. Oh God, please reveal yourself. That type of song. Not this. What desire you have? Only one desire, to realize God. So why you should sing? So then I started thinking, even in the prayer, even in the devotional songs, there's a differences are there. So Sri Ramakrishna over here in page 501 in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling that how well they sang that song the other day at Nabeen Niyogi's house. This word he is telling to Rakhal, another disciple. Be drunk, O mind, be drunk with the wine of heavenly bliss. So that joy. Then another devotee suddenly asking, sir, won't you sing? Sri Ramakrishna was a very good singer. And he used to express his joy, his experiences, his knowledge of religion through songs also. So the moment he said that, he was actually in the mood of a yoga. Then he was explaining through the knowledge. Also, we have read previous pages. And suddenly he said that about the devotion. Sri Ramakrishna's answer, what shall I sing? Well, I may sing when the spirit moves me. This is the attitude of a devotee. When we are singing the devotional song, it is not to please the people. Most of the time, the singer's main attention, it remains to please the people. No, it should be to satisfy God and satisfy yourself, the singer. So that satisfaction should be, because all the songs, those words that are coming out, and then in a tune it is going out through the tune, that means your prayers are going out to reach the God. That is called devotional song. And he was, okay, when the spirit moves me. Then he was closing his eyes. Then after some time he began to sing. And Master Mashai is writing, his eyes were turned upwards. He's taking the mind inside, he's looking upward, not the people who are listening. I am not singing for you, but my devotion is connecting me with the God. He sang, this is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna. First he sang a song that is dedicated for the devotion, Vaishnava. He was talking about the Gora. Gora means the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is that song. Second song he sang Shakta. That's the Kali. And the last song he sang is the Vedanta. And in the Vedanta he is describing, O Mother, what a machine is that thou hast made. Machine means this human body. O Mother, what a machine is that thou hast made. And what is this machine? In the Vedanta we know Pancha Kosha Vilakshana Atma, the beautiful, the wonderful, this human body, human being. We do not understand that. Sometimes we are good looking, sometimes we are strong, and sometimes we are having some money and the social status, and we are very, very proud. But that is the very, very outward expressions. Main is the God is reflecting within our buddhi, intellect, in our mind. That is the very special thing, and only human being can realize it, understand it. But how? Here the Vedanta comes forward to help us. And they are giving us how this body, and then afterwards, they call it Pancha Kosha Vilakshana Atma. Vilakshana means behind. What is that? Atma. And Atman is the source, the Paramatman, the consciousness. But you have to cross the 5 gates, the 5 sets, the 5 cover. Pancha Kosha. The 5 cover. First cover is Annamaya. This body with the flesh and blood and bone and marrows. This is the first one. And whole our mind, our attention goes to this body only. Majority of our time is given to this body only, to maintain this body. Then Manomaya, Pranamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Then beyond the Anandamaya is the Atman. We reach to those people who understand these step by step. They go, they analyze, and they give up, and then they ultimately reach to Anandamaya Kosha. Majority of the people, they're stuck over there, and they are in great joy because the reflection is so much over there. But even the Anandamaya Kosha is not also the original joy, Ananda. So that is a different discussion. Someday we will be discussing. This time in September, I am trying to give a retreat on the search for the infinite. All these subjects will come over there. The details discussion about Annamaya, Pranamaya, Anandamaya. How the Anandamaya, when a man in great joy, he is in really not the joy from outside, but still Anandamaya Kosha is not the Atman. So we can understand the subtlety where we have to reach. The Sri Ramakrishna is, through the song, he is expressing that idea. Oh God, oh Mother, what a great thing that you have made this machine, he said. It's a wonderful machine. Why he mentioned machine in the song? Because it is not the original. It cannot take any decision. Only because of the reflection this is going on. So this is the machine. As Sri Ramakrishna sang the last song, he went into Samadhi. This is also very, very special of Sri Ramakrishna. Going to Samadhi, can you imagine those who have studied the Raja Yoga of Swami Vivekananda or the Patanjali Yoga Darshan, and we have discussed that, I think 1 or 2 years it took to complete all the, why should we meditate? Over that we discussed. And there the final stage is the Samadhi. And the Samadhi, I become He, the God. And there is no I remain, it becomes only He. And that is the complete stage or the last step of the yoga path. Sri Ramakrishna goes over there just at ease. Anytime he goes, he was singing, and there when he was singing, this body is a machine, the unique machine, he immediately mind went to the Panchakosha Vilakshana Atma, and the beyond the 5 sets is that great Atman. His mind went into Atman, merged into Atman, he went into Samadhi. The devotees, they sat speechless, gazing at his radiant figure. After some time, he regained the partial consciousness. The mind, most of the mind is still over there, a little bit came down. Sometimes you know, those who are practicing meditation, you suppose you are practicing for 1 hour, 1.5 an hour, 2 hours, and when you get up, then if someone comes to talk to you, you don't feel like talking because that mind has not come down. You have practiced and intensely you practiced. Now slowly your mind is coming down. Not that we went into Samadhi, only a little practice where the mind became concentrated. Even then, after that, when you are getting up, we don't like to communicate, we don't like to listen anything, and even you don't like to see anything. Why? Mind is still over there. And imagine when we merges with the Brahman, that Atman, the joy, the absolute, the one, the original. Then from there, when the mind is coming down to all this, the person who is having the golden jewelries, very costly jewelries, when they go to the shops where like the original jewelries, but it is not, how you will feel, how she will feel, it is like that. You would like to touch it. Yeah, having the original one, the great, all very costly, precious. Now why to look at the fakes? Though it looks like that. So that when the mind goes to God and when it comes down, when you look at this fake thing, this world, we don't like it. So that's why Ma Saradhamani Devi, she advised Don't get up immediately after practicing the meditation for some time. Don't get up immediately. Wait for some time. Just sit over there for some time. And slowly, slowly your mind will come down. And sometimes what happened, when I was trying to contact that Supreme, I could not in that meditation. But when I am quietly sitting, suddenly that happens. And the great revelation comes, experience comes. So wait for some time, then slowly get up. Sri Ramakrishna's mind, by this experience or by this discussion, we can to some extent understand what was the condition of the mind of Sri Ramakrishna. He went into Samadhi when he was singing the song that beyond all this, Panchakosha, the five sets, the Brahman, the Paramatman, and after that, marching from there, coming down is very, very difficult. So partial, he has come down and slowly he is talking. Mother, Sri Ramakrishna, soliloquizing. He is not addressing anyone, soliloquizing. He says, Mother, please come down from up there. Now remember, Sri Ramakrishna said very clearly, whom you call Brahman, I call Mother. So when he is addressing the Mother, it is that Brahman. And he is asking that Brahman, please come down because you have asked me that I have a mission to fulfill. If my mind goes and merges in the Brahman, when I will work? I have to talk to the people, I have to enlighten them, I have to guide them. So that's why, Mother, please come down from up there. Did he feel his mind still lingering in the seventh plane of consciousness? Seventh plane of consciousness, because the Samadhi, so Master Mahashaya, he is mentioning, commenting from the terminology of the yoga, seventh plane of consciousness. The Jnani will say Chaturtham, the fourth one. The slowly goes to third. First is waking stage, dreamless condition, and then go to the fourth. That is the Chaturtham, the Turiya. So here is a seventh stage of consciousness. So we can understand he is actually using the yoga terminology. Friends, when you are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you must have to have someone who is sincerely reading, must have these knowledges. So it is so difficult. Apparently it is so easy. The easiest book, as if we begin our spiritual journey by reading this book. Sometimes some people, they also suggest, go and read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. But in every page, there's so much of discussions are there. In-depth thoughts are there. Unless and until you have a background of the yoga, then knowledge, jnana, and also devotion, is very difficult to understand. Please do come down, he said. Don't torment me that way. Be still, Mother, and sit down. Now he is talking with that Supreme Consciousness as Mother and asking to quiet. O Mother, everybody's future is determined by the tendencies of his previous births. This is the statement. Everybody's tendencies. Tendencies means the karma phala, and we call it samskara. In Sanskrit we call it samskara, tendencies. And suddenly some person, there is an American gentleman, he works very hard, but his devotion to the God Sri Ramakrishna, and if you talk to him, he is just mad for Sri Ramakrishna. All the time he is thinking of Sri Ramakrishna, writing poem about him and sending to me, and constantly thinking, I can't go because I have a job to do. But my mind was there when you were performing the Sri Ramakrishna Puja. And there in the night he has composed a poem dedicating to Sri Ramakrishna. American, they were hard of Indian things. And even those big temples are there of Ramachandra, Vishnu and other. Ramakrishna, we don't have any temple. Only this type of Vedanta societies that also no name of Sri Ramakrishna anywhere. Vedanta societies. How could he know about Sri Ramakrishna? How could he come to us? How could he get the initiation? And then he is going on reading books. He's a very hard working. Does it not prove that the past birth something he must have done? So he was attracted to the purest of the pure spiritual path. So this is this. So here Sri Ramakrishna, after coming down from that supreme condition, he looked at the people, and as he said in different places, I can see the tendencies of the people as one can see things in a glass case almirah. Through the glasses we can see what are the things there inside that almirah. And here also Sri Ramakrishna can see the mind, can read the mind. And he is telling Mother, everyone's future is determined by the tendencies of his previous births. What shall I say to these people? Nothing can be achieved without discrimination and renunciation. So the discrimination, the vichara, this is a great thing that has been given to human being only. Animals cannot do that, even when they are doing only comparing with the food and the security and nothing there else. But human being can discriminate between the permanent and the temporary. So that discrimination, and the moment we know that these are all temporary things, we draw the mind from the temporary and put it in the permanent. That's called renunciation. Sri Ramakrishna had now regained full consciousness of the world, and he continued. There are many kinds of renunciation. And that's all different type of condition of the mind. One of them may be called Markata Vairagya. There's many people they know. Markata means monkey. The Vairagya means renunciation, monkey renunciation. It is a false renunciation stimulated by the affliction of the world. That renunciation doesn't last long. Then there is a real renunciation. A man with in the world, lacking nothing, feels all to be unreal. These are too great. Suddenly something happened. That there's a story when the Belur was in a very primitive condition. A gentleman came and he wanted to donate all his property. So the manager of because he is organizing everything, he needs the money, so he was happy. So he went to the then President Swami Brahmananda. Then Brahmananda ji immediately, he didn't see the man, he never met the man, he immediately understood. You know that his wife passed away, the man wants to give all his property to the Ramakrishna mission. So immediately Brahmananda ji said, Babu Ramda, he has come to us and developed a renunciation. And in his company, you are developing attachment? No, you should not. He understood that this is only through affliction. This moment his mind wants to give everything and go away because he was missing his wife so much, the world became nothing. But after a few days he came back and told, well, I have my papers, so give it back. So like that it goes. So that is called Markata Vairagya, the monkey's renunciation. This moment I think I should give, and then after some time no. And there is a renunciation of calculation. They renounce, they give, but after a lot of calculation. And third is this one, never care for anything. I love God and I go away for God. God will take care of me. And truly it happens. In the life of the Swamis, if you look particularly, many Swamis, It happens. If once you accept the God, God will take care of you for sure. And if you are leaving your parents, your family at the back, God will take care of them for sure. It happens many, many times. Even then, 100% believe in faith in the existence of God is not coming. So that is, Sri Ramakrishna is explaining, it is not possible to acquire renunciation all at once. See how practical he is. The time factor must be taken into account. But it is also true that a man should hear about it. When the right time comes, he will say to himself, oh yes, I heard about this. He is giving the hint about it. It's better to go and listen about it, but that very moment you are not ready. But you know about it. When the time will come, it's okay. I can give it to you. But friends, here I must say, sometimes some people out of emotion, they give away everything and go out. No, you have to wait for the time factor. Automatically it will go down from you, automatically. Or otherwise you must have to save something so that that can help you in the future. You must be very practical. When we are reading, when once become a monk, a different type of mentality comes, attitude comes. There's a burning renunciation, bothers for nothing. But when you are in some responsibility, you have to calculate, you have to know what I am going to do. If you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you will find the same thing. When the Master Mahashaya, the writer of this, he was the recorder, we should say. He used to record all the conversation. He wanted to, that he actually disclosed his desire to become a monk. The Sri Ramakrishna said, no, you should not. And then he was calculating, he asked him to calculate. You have a son, you have a wife, you have this, how much expenditure and how much you are having in the bank and your property, so that they can survive in the future afterwards, because that is your responsibility also. So it's very, very practical way we have to think. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you must also remember one thing. By constantly hearing about renunciation, one's desire for worldly objects gradually wears away. One should take rice water in small doses to get rid of the intoxication of liquor. Sri Ramakrishna knew this too also. So some people will be drinking a lot, and then he must have seen somewhere. So he is mentioning, if you wash the rice, the raw rice, then that water, if they drink, that intoxication, it goes away. That he is mentioning over here. But I'm not going to try it anyway. So here he is telling in this way, and an aspirant entitled to the knowledge of God is very rare. In the Bhagavad Gita also, it mentioned with the Sri Krishna. An aspirant entitled to the knowledge of God is very rare. What is the knowledge of God? You know, every month we are meeting in our Hindu temple, Lemont, every first Sunday of the month, and there we are discussing the Ashtavakra Samhita. We just started. The first chapter we have started. Second chapter, if you read, many of you have already read and heard. There's a wonderful verses. Nowhere you will find. No religion will support it. But there it says, oh, I am so great. I offer my pranam to myself. So that is the way, the expression of the disciple. After realizing the truth, the disciple in great joy is telling, oh, I am so great. I offer all my respect to myself. Can you imagine? And that is the height of the Vedanta, highest point. But it is not for all. We have to understand. Understanding it good, hearing is good. Have that knowledge. But know for sure where you are standing. From there, you have to start. So that he is telling is very rare. It is said in the Gita that 1 in 1,000 desires to know God, and again that among thousands who have such a desire, only one is able to know him. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhe. Very famous sloka. As your attachment to the world diminishes, your spiritual knowledge will increase. This line we should remember. What is the difference between those people, the great souls? Only this much. As your attachment to the worldly objects diminishes, go away, the more you spiritual become. What is the spirituality? Why suddenly one person? Swami Vivekananda was born and then he went to schools, then he went to college, just a normal life. So many people are doing like that. Suddenly how it is that he became so great and the whole world started offering pranam to him and respecting him and accepting him as a spiritual leader? This only. Giving away the world, automatically you become religious. And what is that world? Anything that is temporary, anything, including your body, mind, intellect. So that point you have to remember. The more you give away, the more you become spiritual. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning every line of the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is so important for the aspirants. So the Panchama Veda, see the name I have given. The many people, they always write to me, why Panchama Veda? I always argue. See, these are the things. Every line you will find the knowledge, the why not. The Veda teaches us the knowledge of spirituality. Here also we learn. As your attachment to the world diminishes, your spiritual knowledge will increase. Attachment to the world means, he is explaining again, attachment to the world means attachment to lust and gold. The desire. Sri Ramakrishna using two words. Ma Sharadamani Devi used only one word. Someone asked a question to her, Mother, how to realize God? The moment you are free from desire, you will realize God. So that desire, the lust, it is not even everybody have to feel the prema. Sri Ramakrishna now entering into the realm of devotion is a different world. He is mentioning it is not given to everybody to feel prema, a static love of God. Chaitanya experienced it. An ordinary man can at most experience bhava. This is the terminologies they are using. One is prema and another is bhava. A person who is going on practicing devotion, ultimately he can go up to bhava. What is that bhava, etc.? He will explain. Only Ishwar Kotis of the divine incarnations experience prema. When prema is awakened, the devotee not only feels the world to be unreal, but forgets even the body which everyone loves so intensely. Now here we will stop and we will go back to a few lines back where he mentioned knowledge is so difficult. And only a few can really follow the path of knowledge. And here he is telling, in the devotional path, to reach to prema, one has to become as pure as the incarnations of God themselves. Are they not same? And what is that prema? When that prema, that particular aspect of devotion, and when it comes in the mind of a human being, what happens? Then he forgets everything, this world which is unreal, and not only that, he forgets his body he loves so much. He forgets even the body which everyone loves so intensely. This is the same. Then comes prema, is the rope by which you can the God. Whenever you want to see Him, you can just pull that and the God will appear before you. The way he expresses it, as it is so easy. The prema is that rope. Whenever you want, you can pull it and God will come before you. So like this only he is telling the mature, that prema stages. And the mature stage of bhakti is bhava. When one attains it, one remains speechless, thinking of Satchidananda. This also we should note. The person is approaching through the path of devotion. And devotion means duality. That God and me or I separate. Here you stand and you start. So God is there, I am here. And I listen to about God and then start believing and developing attachment, love, interest, curiosity. And slowly, step by step, I go towards God. And ultimately I reach to the point which is termed as bhava. And in that bhava condition, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, he thinks only about Satchit Ananda Sarupa. See, there is no two, it becomes one. The path of devotion also taking us to the same one, because the Indian philosophy, Indian religion, they are giving different options. Whichever you like, you can take. But when you complete the course, you reach to the same particular knowledge, which is one and not two. Most of us, the Hindus also, we don't know. So we think that our God is this, your God is that. You know, sometimes they become very narrow-minded. I went to the temple, and our devotees wanted to have a small room inside the big temple, so many rooms. So can you give a small room for us so that we can come every 15 days, we can sit and read the gospel? And no, this is not our God, yours is different God. They are Hindus, but still they said, our God is totally different. If you worship this God, okay, that is you are allowed. But if you are worshipping Sri Ramakrishna as God, we don't know him, you are not allowed. So that is the way they think, my God, your God, his God, her God, all different. And how you will explain? So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, they have not started even. They have not begun the journey even. They are just trying to understand things. The moment, that's why Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it's not for only group of people who are the followers of Sri Ramakrishna. Anyone genuinely trying to understand spirituality in any religion, anywhere, anytime, must read this book. Why? Then only if you read it with the open mind, you can understand the truth of it. And he says, when one attains, one remains speechless. What he is attaining? The bhava. And what is that bhava? The condition of the mind goes into that, the thinking of Satchidananda, Satchidananda. The feeling of an ordinary man can go only that far. The bhava ripens, it becomes Mahabhava. And then comes the prema in the last. So when he was telling about prema, he started with the prema and he said only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a personality like those only can have. And majority of the people, and they are so great people, and they are reaching up to that, the bhava, and in the bhava they are realizing the Satchidananda, that oneness, and after that comes Mahabhava, then only prema. Once, how can a devotee attain such love? He is telling first, the company of the holy man. Here we find the path of knowledge. You all know, it is the system of not this, not this. When you are going to and following the path of knowledge, it says not this, not this. This body? No, it is not. Mind? No, it is not. This universe? No, it is not. Na iti, na iti. In Sanskrit it is called neti, neti. And then it goes to, in the path of devotion, iti, iti. This one, everything that I see is the manifestation of God. So these only two different attitudes. One says, not this, it is something else. And another says, there is nothing but God. God has created this universe. Everything that you see is nothing but the manifestation of God. So this is the difference. One person, he was practicing the path of knowledge. So he made the small hut. He was practicing by the side of a river, and there he wrote Soham. Sa, that, aham, I am he. So that was his practice. So every day he used to say Soham, Soham. Another person was nearby. He was practicing devotion. He didn't like it. Every day after taking the bath in that river, he used to pass and he used to see that this man has written on door Soham. So one day that man was not there. He mentioned there Dasoham. I am his. This man wrote Soham, I am he, and the devotee wrote, I am his. Dasoham means I am the servant of the God. Dasa means the servant. That is humble. So again this man came and then he brushed that da and then Soham again. Again he came and wrote da. So da and sa, it went on like this. This is a beautiful story. But actually when they reached to the ultimate goal and finally realized what they realized, same thing. Only my attitude to see God in play and another without anything, this much. So Sri Ramakrishna is explaining and he is going on in a lastly I just mentioned, and then maybe someday we will go on discussing about it. First step of the devotion, 7 stages of devotion. First stage, that is called Sadhu Sangha, company of the holy, Sadhu Sangha. And this Sadhu Sangha means now we are having the Sadhu Sangha. Not that I am a monk, so not that. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And we are not thinking anything else. We are listening his words. I am just reading it out. That's all. And we are listening to his words, transporting our mind to that condition, trying to understand as maximum as possible. And slowly one thing is happening positively. What is that? We are forgetting ourselves. We are forgetting the surroundings. We are forgetting this world. And we are marveling with those words as Ramakrishna said. If you can get that particular condition which is known as prema, and you will be completely merged with God. Even in the bhava, they are seeing the Satchidananda. And Mahabhava, you can imagine that he is no longer separate from God. He is with God. And what happens in the prema? They say, when you realize, then only you feel. It's difficult to express. It is not possible. I am talking about the devotional path, not about the path of knowledge, not about the path of yoga. Devotional path, first begin with this, is called Sadhu Sangha. Second come Shraddha, faith in the existence of God. Faith in the existence of God. One couple came with their son, and the son is studying in 4th grade or 5th grade. He never likes the monk, and naturally born in America and all. But the parents don't force the boy. He comes, he roams around, he looks and he sees. And then when they returned back, he commented, the man you met over there in the Vedanta society is a good person. So this is judgment. Why I offered him the candies, then I patted him, then I told, "How are you?" So he liked it. Maybe in this way only it begins. Then, when the first association with the holy, then comes Shraddha. We start accepting the God is there. The Shraddha ripens to Nishtha. Nishtha means the single-minded devotion. And we go to this church today, the next day some other, next day some other. No, you cannot develop that devotion in that way. Once you have accepted this, I accepted this, and I am going to complete in this way. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is giving so many that way explanations and through stories. The one man was going on digging the well for the drinking water. Another person was also digging. He dug some time and then he found no water, only dry land. He left that. Again he went somewhere. He could not reach to the ultimate level where the water is flowing. But the first man went on digging and digging until I reached to that layer where water, I'm not going to stop, and he reached over there. In the spiritual life is also like that. First you read, understand, then accept, and accept for whole life. I am going to dig into this. I won't leave. That is called Nishtha, single-mindedness. And what happens, before we go to the another stage, the fourth stage, bhakti, devotion, all our past karmas, which brought me over here, again the bad karmas, they start manifesting. And they give us a wonderful thing which is called ego, spiritual ego. I know all these things. I can talk to other people, and I have realized this, I have realized that, I can understand this thing better. Very subtle way this ego comes and covers our mind and takes away from the path. Well, I will start our own ashrama, I will start my own people. That is the problem, it comes. So we don't understand. We are thinking that we are practicing religion, rather I am talking to other people. But when I am telling, I am talking, you will feel that unless and until you get the permission, you are not supposed to talk about God. When Swami Vivekananda, a man like him, he had that experiences, tremendous power generated within him, and he transmitted it to one of his Guru Bhai, just to understand how things happen. So he told him, touch my body and touch my knee and feel what is happening. He was meditating, and his brother disciple, he touched him and he transmitted his spiritual power to him. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who was lying down in his room, immediately understood it. And when the Narayan entered, he told, what you have done? It was just accumulating, and you have spent the whole thing. So this is the very, very difficult nishtha. When the devotion has come, every day, right moment, I am going and meditating and praying, and slowly, a satisfaction start coming. And I, by mistake, understand that, take that, a great religious feelings. No, from nishtha comes devotion, bhakti. So first the sadhu sangha, shraddha, nishtha, and then comes on the fourth stage, bhakti. Then the journey begins from here. And this love of devotion to God means you won't like to talk anything else. The moment that some people are talking about the God, you feel like crying, praying. Why? As if you are separated from your beloved one for a long time. That pangs that comes in the mind, that is called devotion. Then come bhava. What is this bhava? All those wonderful qualities of the God whom you love slowly comes on you. You feel like that. That's called bhava. Mahabhava, you can imagine, he is completely transformed into that. And about the prema, they said it is impossible to talk about it. So these are the 7 steps, friends. We may some other time we may discuss about it. Maybe Sri Ramakrishna is different places. He will be explaining. So we know the three different paths. The jnana, they are also having the 7 steps, and the yoga, they are also the 7 stages, and then comes the bhakti, the devotion. There are also 7 stages. It begins very nicely with the sadhu sangha, the company of the holy. So from there it begins and ended up by transforming himself as God, the prema. Today we will stop over here, and again in the next Friday, Tuesday, we will read about other words of Sri Ramakrishna. Let us complete this. With this mantra. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.